Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. So we will begin with opening prayers on page 1 of the prayer book. We'll go once in English and once in Tibetan. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. Manam gadanyam besam jantam je devadandan adongaradan tenyurdalana mebar ayanda barzo bechajurimbo Page 2. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Page 3. All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in the glorious kind Lama Vajradhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, source of the 84,000 categories of the teaching, and Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Namge tadai nyambe semje damje joje de samje dijin shekwa tamje go sondo ayondan delan tamje ngawar girwa jige bongbo dongrai jeje saje jongne nyumbabe gende tamje ngada denjen zawa danjubar jebe ambade lama namba namla gyabse jewo yedan jingorde latso namla gyabse jewo sanje jomende namla gyabse jewo nambe jo namla gyab su che wo. Ba be gin de nam la gyab su che wo. Ba wo kan ro chu kyung sung me so yi je gi chen dan de ma nam la gyab su che wo. Page 4. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Chanjo Ningbo Jige Bar Sanje Namla Gyobsun Je Chodan Chanjo Semba Ye Tsolan Dijen Gyobsun Je Jedara Ngongi Deje Ge Chanjo Tukne Jiba Chanjo Sembe Laba La De Da Rimjin De Badar Dejen Dola Bendon De Chanjo Semne Gege Sheng Dejen Dene Laba La Rimba Shindu Laba Page 5. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sanje Judan Soje Jonam La Chanjo Pada Dane Gyabsun Je Dage Jinzo Gibe Sonam Ge Dola Benje Sanje Dubai Sho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Semjen damje and Ewadan Deve Gyudan Denbar Jurje and Dongadang Dongage Gyudan Dewa Jurje and Dongar Mebe Dewadan Mendewa Jurje Chadan Nidan Dere Danyom La Nebar Gyurje. Page 6. Refuge of all sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras, together with their hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exception exactly as they are, transcending conqueror, together with your disciples, please come here to this place. And the bonje meze jomse la ngonam male jishin kinjurbe jumden kurje nede sheksu so argam badem bube dube alo gengende nive de shabda brade jaso. Page 7. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Sanje Buje Joshen Medotam Arira Lingye Nide Gembade Sanje Shengla Mege Buaye Joga Wadai Chuje Yobadon Anje Sowaye Gewa Jungze Dage Chizaba Damje Zobe Jangjo Jimbo. And then page 11. Namo, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the 3 realms. Please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the 5 wisdoms of omniscience, gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind, transcendent conqueror, the one thus gone, foe destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men, I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya king. At the time of your birth, leader of 2-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth, you proclaimed, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, even then I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain. The one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon. To you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one, such as you, among the 3 levels of existence, is most exquisite. Unparalleled, omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Travasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, and ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone, the pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth, To the pacifying Dharma I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation, thoroughly respectful of the three higher trainings, and they are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha I also prostrate. And then we can go back to page 9 for the Tibetan. Namo Nangse Namda Ge Lama Lai Nangse Shechen Sen Chupa Bu Angkang So Yong Dura De Surwa De Kurwa Tong Zhui Se Jin Je Lo Ye Ye Xian Nurwa Tso Ge Jian Ma San Jun Mi Jar Ve To Anchen Be Ye Xian A Dan Den Tse Ve Dan Yi Ga Di Jian An Do Wa Jun Ze Rinpo Che Da Sim Ye Je Ngan Ne So Wan De Chö Nye Je Ngan De Chen Je Lo Sim Do Ne Je Me Nam Dan De Min Chu Ge Do Ba Jin Je Lo Chön Den De Ti Jin Ye Ba Zhao Jiang Ba Yang Da Ba Zo Bie Sang Jie Ri Gua Dan Xiao Sen Den Ba De Wa Ye Gua Ji Den Jian Ba Ji Wen De Wa Ka Lo Jo Wa La Na Me Ba La Da Me Nam Je Dong Ba Nya Mi Xia Ji Je Boi Xiao Je De Zhen Ma Me Ba La Go Wo Rao De Do De Ge Wei Chang Za Lo Gang Ze Gang Ye Zo Wo Zhou Dang Ze Sa Jian De Lai Gong Ba De Wo Ra Je Dan De Nai Zhou Je Zong De Zai Ge Ba Che Lai Chang Za Lo Nam Dai Gong Ai Zhou De Se Zang Wa Ni Je Jiang Zo Zer Je Lin Bo Da Da Ba Je Dan Zong Na La Nye Wo Ang Gong Ba Chong Ye Zhou Lai Chang Za Den Ba Zhi Me Da Wei Xie Zang Do Zha Wai Qi Lai Chang Za Lo De De Jiu De Se Ba Song Nan Zi Nya Me Chen Chen Qi Lai Chang Za Lo Min Jiu De Wai Ka Loi Jun Zi Jian Gun Jia Qin Wai Jun Zi Di Jin Ye Wang Bo Xie Dan Ni Ye Xie Lai Ge Nian Yue Xiu Ba De Lai Chang Za Lo Ang Gong Bo Tu Jie Jie Dan Ba Dam Jie Jin Bie Dong Ba Bo Song Na Yang Den Jiang Zo Xin Di Yin Ye Lai Chang Za Lo Ta Bian Do Jia Zhi Wei Jie Yi Wei Yin Song Le Dui Xin Jie De Dong Dai Jiu Jiu Wai Xie Jiu Chu Lai Chang Za Lo Ai Tu Wei Long Yang Dong La Ba Da Lai Rao De Ge Ai Shen Ge Dang Ba Yang Den Jie Gen De La Yang Chang Za Lo. And then turn to page 15. I prostrate to the youthful Manjushri, To those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appear during the 3 times, to all of them without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharmadhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible, praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sugatas with the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointment, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense. I make offerings to the victorious ones with the finest cloths, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways. I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the bodhisattvas, the Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who, passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. And so then back to page 14 for the Tibetan, or 13 if you read Tibetan.
chen cho dang
Hejime Burma Rida
Nyamba dang Go ba je ba ba ben cho gen je Jawa de da la yan cho ba je cho ba gang na la me ja je wa
Deda Gyawa Tamche Layang Mo
Sambo Jula Debe Do Da Ge Gyawa Gun La Jang Zen Chu Ba Ge Do Cha Ye Da De Mo Wang Ge Ne Le Da Nga Da De Yin Yi Ge Jang De Ba Da Ge Ji Ba Jin Je Ba De Da Dam Je Da Ge So So Ya Chu Ju Ja Wa Gun Da Sang Je Je Rang Ja Nam Da Lo Da Me Lo Da Do Gun Je Song Nam Gang La Yang De Da Gun Je Je Se Da Ye Rang
Gang
Nan cho jin je dan dong ma nai chang jo ren ba ra san je ma cha nye an gong ba da 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 ge tam che la ko lo la na me ba ko wa ge nyan nyan da dong gang ye da da la
Drowa Kunap
Pinyin Deve Che Gewa Shinge Dunye Shoba Yang Anda Ge Demo Raja Soba Je Chanza Wada Chujin Shoba Dang Jeze Yaran Gunshin Soba Ye Gewa Junze Da Ge Jeza Ba Tam Che Zobe Chanjo Jembo. Page 16.
Oh, page 16, sorry. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Semje namje samba dang loye je da wa a je join de mo de ba ye cho je go de so tam ge do je ja je re son do shen je ma do de je bon jong bo so je nong bo do wa je ve kya je ja ve ja lo ke jan se de me wo za to je jing ro de ma de he je ngo je do tam je se kwa gun jen je je Min de gong ren chen ge chan se wo mi chu je yin je po dong de du sang je gun je wo ni rang som chu gong wo song dong zhe bie zhe bie la me xiao la ge chan se gang da zhe zhe dong qian ji de na de tie lu mo la chu wa gang so da ten de dong bie chu jin jia ran Sembol no wa dam jin de ye ye no mo ya la ye ge dang lo dang de ji ge chung da dang mi ye ge nam ne do wa gung je da ge je dong ba tam ji ge da da ge chu den do. Good morning. Happy New Year. Tene da nga tene nga to lo sarwa xiaagi ore tendu tene da jatanga tsuta lo ni toni xaksom ke jeke na la da na senari tela tene ji ta tamano chagu yorwa o tena yi ke ji da ni toni xaksom na inari tende jeke na da ji karse gore zambaling di na la chik machi wa tang mandu wa tene na cha la so ba tiga na yi ke tene ja da zo che hyo da ma hyo ja yo ba o tende la tene ji ni tong ni zok som zo yo de o tende te dang nyam de tene ji da ga ni zo cha ma ji and ji zo be ke tene mandu hyo ya da je wa hyo ya tende ji yin
So today, is what marks the new year on the calendar, the Western calendar, and with that, since it is a time that's associated with new beginnings, then we can make the aspiration, or we can have the thought that with the kind of this demarcation of the year 2023 coming to an end, that together with that, we can have the aspiration that all negativity that exists in the world, all unhappiness, all unfavorable conditions, all illness, and especially, given the current circumstances, violence and war, that all of these difficulties and hardships may come to an end with the ending of this period, with the end of the year 2023. And so that is Drupal Rinpoche's aspiration and wish, that with the ending of this year, that all hardship and negativity in the world may also come to an end.
어다 티니 티네 다니 돈이 저기 서버 샤워리 또 서버 티나나 티네 지 뭐네 직다시바 통조바 particular zambeling 디나나 티네 지 희와당 대와 첨투 틴데게 ne tuya ta tiga na ji individual imbina ya tena yi ki yikna chodong tumbi to ne tene ji chawa kari imbina ya ji rang ke samba kari na ya drop to ba ta doba kari na ya ji la le son to ba oda tinde ke tene nga to da chame ki molam ya des.
And so then, likewise, with the beginning of this new year, 2024, then we can also have like the aspiration and prayer that with the beginning, this new beginning, that there may be an abundance of auspiciousness, that beings may be able to accomplish, their objectives that accord with the Dharma, that they may, be able to be successful in their activities, that, both on a collective level and also individually, that in the world there may be peace and happiness and harmony, and that individually, between that individuals may accomplish their intentions, both worldly and dharma, those intentions that accord with virtue, that are virtuous in nature, and that they may be able to accomplish their intentions, their objectives, and bring all all desires or aspirations into action.
어다 티인도 계산가서 샘게 다 individually 뭔가 너바 지부게 지 도토구 말이 되나요? 지금 너바 되게 토네 되는가 선배 구롱 제가 나에게 지금 또다 뭐람 넘버 타봐 그러와 집에는 가서다 구롱 넘버 타봐 뭐람 넘버 타봐 텐디지 요위나야 고 땡땡 텐디지 고 또던 니파 요래 텐디인데 drop to brace.
And it's important to recognize or really believe in the power of aspiration and intention. So especially at like a time like this, a time of new beginnings, wait, Sim. So it isn't the sim kipo individually dupa chipo drup metu the dampo sung gari sungi.
당보지 땅아지 고도 선바 지부게 고도 바탕 drop to 말와. 이나야 티기 냠 돌라더네 구농 근데 뭐람 어떻게 요위나야 고도 바탕 drop to 요레스.
So even, even individually, if we, wish for happiness, whatever it is that our intentions are, that we, whatever desires, just wanting or desiring itself can't cause those things to come to fruition. There has to be the power of like aspiration prayer behind it and pure intention. So when we make a kind of concerted point or effort, or we actually intentionally create a pure or aspirational, wholesome intention in the mind, when we make pure aspiration prayers, these are very powerful, and without a doubt, they will bring about a favorable result.
어다 대간나기 단다 대송구도와 아주 상제 장례 대바 요래 되네 상제 당 대간나기 창접 선바 배 망보 요러와 대인도드네 거지 당봉원래야 고 상제 대전로제다 고 당봉원래 갈세나 창접 선바 차대죠 요 말에 공소 간데스 차버래 라비나 당보지 원에 전에 지 몰람 넘버 타 바로와 몰람 넘버 타비 삼자 송도와 몰람 약보 지 야베키 줌세 탈레테네 타마야 데 상제로야 야 타마야 데 창접 선바 차토야 오다 데 직자와디 에드네 직 몰람탕 대나기 흥아도다 개바 사샤죠 가리유이나야 오바치와 틴디키 니발레테네 tengazo fruition tin drop yores.
And so there are countless enlightened beings who have existed throughout time, countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but these don't become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas just kind of by chance, or they didn't start out that way. And a great force behind the birth of Buddhas or enlightened beings in this world is the power of aspiration prayer, pure intentions and aspirations. So that is a very strong factor in how beings become enlightened and how they become Buddhas and how they become Bodhisattvas. So there's that factor of pure intention and aspiration prayers, and there's also the power of the dedication of merit. So when we accumulate merit or wholesome roots of virtue, sealing that or kind of bolstering the power of that virtue through dedication prayer, then that power of dedication is what really also brings about the fruition.
티니다 자치효는 상제 컴포터 버체비 치우들라 양면에 되네 지 차서 침보 그 똑바지 와라 다존 히네 랍든데 항통게 소다 조 나초게 지 주라 요베게 되네 뇽모바 똑소트다 담지 파 좀토버 치냐데 히네레와 삼히와 대와 네토바 테니다 트레인 제타anga 조 추념나 지야 그 몽보 히위요리 되네요 다 로서베기 나 케제요데 되네 당보 히네 송레 되네 히네요나 되네 자주 친구 또 같이 얘기로 와 되게 된다 가서 두수시라 까마고베 돈에 되네 신의 공이 아래 되네 신의 대양 되네 당보 가서다 신의 좀 바힌도 요래 되네 단다다 제당처럼서 디펜스와 장소 신의 지 대안도지 고도 좀나 가서 대안도지 치네 없는 되기래 다 지나서 때문에 고구면나 나서 넣어봐라 되네 가서 다 신의 공이 아래스
And so today, with the agenda that we have today, which is to make it a day of meditation or shamatha practice, so one of the most important practices or meditation types of meditation, for progressing on the path to Buddhahood is shamatha. So shamatha, it is said that when shamatha is really developed or perfected, then the result of that is mahamudra. So it is necessary to develop a strong shamatha practice if we wish to eventually, actually realize Mahamudra, because it is shamatha that enables us to, pacify and calm the mind, bring the afflictive emotions to actually subdue or pacify the afflictive emotions, and for the mind and body to enter into an absorption, a meditative absorption, or an experience of like peaceful calm and contentment, or to develop an inner sense of well-being and peace. And so with this new year, then this is what he thinks is most important for us to practice, at this kind of important day, during this important day of the beginning of the new year, is calm abiding, which in Sanskrit is shamatha. So we don't have to, spend a lot of time with instruction. We can just get to the practice and really focus on deepening into or dropping into the practice individually today. And so there are the different stages of shamatha that many of you are familiar with. And essentially, like, it's a kind of personal how is the best, whatever is the best method of a shamatha or calm abiding for you. So there's shamatha which uses a support or has an object, or shamatha without an object. So if you wish to use a particular object for your focus in meditation, then please do so. Or if you can meditate without an object, then you can meditate in that way. So you can sort of individually decide, what method of calm abiding is the method that you choose to focus on or to develop today.
어다 되는데 ngazo ta thambo tela chi te thuksom ke lungro se chi che tene thi la komyares karma khip chi tamba kom tene thi la ngazo yang ta karma kha he yorwa tene
Do some gare?
the narrow breathing chi
Oh yeah, okay.
tene thi hyugla tene ngazo komyares karma khip chi thi hyulta karma kha he yorwa thi la yang thwa ro yo na and grace morning session wa.
Okay, so for the morning session, we'll begin with the 9 rounds of breathing, or the method for dispelling the stale winds. And then...
Cleansing,
What's that?
Cleansing.
So cleansing, the cleansing breathing methods. And then we'll meditate for 40 minutes. And then at the end of 40 minutes, we'll leave some time for some question and answer, anything that needs to be clarified. And then that will then conclude the morning session.
Okay. So it's like that. So sometimes they say like this finger, this press a little bit, the ring finger, and cross. Okay. Okay, so yeah, also a beginning. We just kind of really sit comfortable and relax. And also some we have phone, or you can make like 40 minutes timer.
Are you asking somebody to time it?
Yeah. Huh? Is it? Yeah, bell, but maybe you can just ring the your phone. Yeah,
Well,
then it's
I
okay.
think, do you have a bell, like a mindfulness app or something?
Yeah, make noisy, that's okay.
Okay.
Then we read deep, then we can make noisy here too. Not wake up. Now also you sit, you know, whatever you floor or chair, but most important is like a bit kind of this spine like straight. So. Okay, so we look about talking about narrow breathing. So this I said before like that.
So the hand gesture is that you put your thumb against the base of your ring finger and then fold the 3 fingers over the thumb. And this is called the Vajra fist. The Vajra fist.
And then we like so this one like a bit underneath the what called the arm or what called this.
So it's against your ribs and underneath a little underneath your elbow and kind of your arm just above your elbow.
So then just you inhaling, but the exhaling is the they call first one is the stone and long.
So the first exhalation is stronger and also long.
Then the third one, nipa de la, stone reading at this stop. No stop, she go yours. Short.
And the second one is also strong, but it's shorter, so it's more forceful and like comes to a halt more quickly.
Then tamade, then there wa this category long in a long much low about Tongo and the gentle over this.
And then the last one is long, but like complete, thorough. So you have a long exhale, but sort of more gentle and kind of until every last bit of breath has come out. So you're really emptying out with the last one.
What in it, ye pass one cheek, yon pass one cheek, Jimate, Lapa Bumoga, Som, sit round, say it is.
And so you do it like that, 1, 2, 3, with the first nostril, and then the same, you switch and you do it with the second nostril 3 times, and then you put both hands on your knees and exhale out of both nostrils 3 times in the same pattern, and so then that becomes 9. That's why we call it the 9 rounds of breathing.
Right, left.
Right, so the right and then the left and then both.
No.
He was just exhale through the other.
Okay, so then do you have some questions?
Is that clear to everybody? Okay.
So the second breath, is it more forceful or is it just short?
Forceful and short.
Forceful
Like
and
we
short.
Like that.
Okay, thank you.
Tini de mikpa che de tini pena yang tin de nupa yapo tsama nang la levki opa tini yang de napo tsama chilo la tongi opa la na pinto tu e.
Did you touch it all up there? Somebody read that.
Oh, okay.
So the other thing I'm curious about is the breath having the shape of long grain rice, right? Or porcupine quill, is that it? Okay. Where it's tapered, right? Even for the short middle breath, it's supposed to be tapered at the ends. That's kind of difficult, but yeah.
Kingiura. The dregi yet dawo yore de dawo konyo. Tini yang nipa the yang chipa rebe. The short down forceful yana yang. So there's actually a little bit more instruction like with this. So he'll in the afternoon he'll go into that more, and then that will also enter into the instructions too.
이나다 단다디 테 야보하 코메 이나양 단다 네키암라고다 포키팡 가디 디나기 이나양 다 단다딜라 코랑키 나루초로나 칼라올스나 당보 차라 링와 테네 차라 통와 테네 jamla ringwa stioris
So yip gi korlagayang trimendo. Yip gi korlagayang trimendo. So sometimes it is described in this way that that the exhalation has sort of the shape of either a grain of rice or the quill of a porcupine, but actually it doesn't. In the 6 yogas, it doesn't say that. It just says the first one is forceful and long, the second one is forceful and short, and the third one is gentle and long.
tene da jitanga zo di tangi hiwa na no tu xie chi wa na yi le de kan is tu gu yo wa tanga zo main ka hi yo ro wa tene main la buba gu tho la gu do buba se na lo ma no ya tene ga hi khala gor se na main khari yo la na buba gu tho tene tuksom no ro se ya tene yo des
Duksum.
no ro
Dini di inji kila gande gyur go na nga gadi ina chipa mato gyur gyo mare bumba sina vase rebe.
buba se na de
Oh, buba.
buba se na ma tomba
Awe.
di buba do ka se de bulowa di bu te wa ji kwa ro buba gutos tene da te ta is de tuksom lumros
Lungru sina? Lungru.
tuksom lumros na ta te ro to afflict emotion
What's that?
afflict emotion
No, but lungru. I know.
long rosina long rosina
Huh? Sopa. Yeah. Okay.
re ta long kind of
Yeah, so that's how we usually say that's it's stale, maybe like stale.
te ta di existen da tuksom buba guto tuksom lumro
So, so and then there's like there are actually different names for this. So sometimes it's referred to as the 9. So I always just translate it the same way. So these are like more technical terms in Tibetan, so they're a little bit hard to translate. But the first one is sort of literally like the 9 blows or blowers, sort of like blowing out the nine rounds of blowing out the winds, and then but that's like adding words. Sorry, what was? Yeah, you could. But it
Actually-
probably, it's just not as literal to the Tibetan. And then I think mostly how it is translated is not entirely literal because the terms are a little bit funny in Tibetan. So then the second one is kind of more like how we translate it of dispelling or clearing out the stale or kind of unclean poisons, the 3 poisons, the kind of taints of the 3 poisons.
Are you inhaling the same amount of breath on each of the rounds, or is the inhalation different?
Yeah, I think just same amount you can fill it up. So inhaling. What? Yeah, move grace no yeah this Congo go. This is na yeah don't do tina that the last this mix it check your career sana. Tene. The zama chogo tia parties na and do that chin zama zang xiang tong gu yo this. last in a tissue lang to get on the way now, long gom go long gom not so gum san in that antication.
So, yeah, the inhalation, you don't have to like think of it in such a measured way, but essentially what you're doing is you're really filling in. You're deeply breathing in, going all the way down, and you're sort of fully filling. And especially perhaps with the last one, when the same way that the last one is like a totally thorough exhalation, like you're completely emptying out. And the inhalation probably goes deeper at that point too. And then following that, there is traditionally like the practice of the wind exercises, which also then involves inhalation after, just after you've fully emptied out, but we won't go into that now, he said. Dini di gongya na dini kado tong na dini di ke yorebe.
Ta jitan kado te peche mikse kado tine yuji mare ina yang ko jitan yang tuksom.
Di laki umare di. Are you talking about meditating in general or with the? Yeah. So the question was, does it matter if you see colors when you meditate? Or is there some significance? Dini di mo gongya tu dini kado tong yore, dini kado tong na dini yang mixel gidunda che yorebe.
Ri inta nga so jitan hine gombe ne kawla koda chi tsurwa dang namang ramanda yujirwa. Ina da tazo ke ko ji tele kanda sem kya go marwa. Ko sem ne rang la kya go res. Ina yang da ji nga so jitan ke ji chu chi wi kawla yang nyam tin ramanda yungurwa ko kado tazo. Nyam tin yori ina yang da ko hine gombe ne kawla zo sem te ne ya jigbu 고그로와 이양 내야 될라다 내당 직세와 직부 배지 남도 까버 직부 그냥 팽기요 말했어 배는 남도 타송도 가서다 공제 출라 탈차다 보소리 출라 탈차잖아 되니 차파 잡소나 tin 차파티 기 좀전에 때네 고추때 그냥 조사요 말와 되니 고추 춘내되기로 다 가난 남도 까버리 남도 까대죠 배 까는 남도 직다 배 남도 모양이야 까대와도 되게 기라 팽겨 말이지
So there are lots of different like sensations and kind of experiences that can arise when you practice calm abiding. But the main thing is like you not to become distracted by them. You don't really have to pay them any mind because the main thing is that you're settling the mind. You're becoming stable. You want the abiding to be stable. So there are, when we practice the Dharma in general, when we meditate, there are all sorts of different, kind of special experiences that can arise. But again, like those are just arising, so we don't have to get distracted by them. And especially in calm abiding specifically, the main thing is bringing the mind back to that stability, the stable abiding. So it's definitely can be the case that you see colors or any number of different types of inner experiences can occur. But the main thing, is to focus on the abiding of the mind, like allowing the mind to settle, to abide, coming back to that. But we also don't want to like block all kind of mental phenomena. It's not like you're blocking in such a way that there's almost like a sheet of ice, like water kind of becoming, sort of frozen, so that there's no movement and there's not really anything.
Water cannot move because of the ice.
So that isn't so beneficial. So it's not like creating kind of a dull state of just, like blocking any activity.
So, Rinpoche, there's a question from Isis Fumero. Thank you, Isis, for your question. Isis asks, hello, when meditating silently without moving, what should my breathing be like? What is the object I am observing?
migyu gare chegiore, the migyu gare chegiore, tini yang the la gande chego gare.
다 조 가서는 희네 공빌라나 데려왕가 소디 다 남도티 남버도 고 메와리 티는 저거다 남도미 샘니기요나 티는 디그리스 다 힘바 양지 소야 라오다 유인도다 티니 용구요 마리스 이나야 남도 효 치에타는 티니 나조지 티니 예나 티니 베 희네 땡첸랍도 양지 희네 미피 유지 샤그와 티니 테레스 키 샘니기요나 다 테레스 코랑 돈다 테레와
So the main thing when you're practicing calm abiding is that you want to enter into an undistracted state of concentration which is not caught up in discursive activity or thoughts. So if you can do that without using an object, then that's fine. You can just practice in that way without having a particular, what was the term she used?
object or
So when meditating silently without moving, what should my breathing be like? What is the object I am observing?
The object. So in that case, the object is just abiding without distraction. But if you we use, so we aren't, in meditation, we're not like creating an object for any purpose other than keeping the mind undistracted, because and so if that is what is needed to remain in non-distraction, then we use an object such as the breath. So there are the categories of shamatha meditation, using a support, meditating with a support, meditating without a support. And so if it is easier to meditate with a support, then we choose an object to bring the attention, to keep the attention on and continuously bring it back.
어다 대가 나기 때문에 야다 단에 대 게탄테 베나 테라와 루랑와 샘랑와 다 같이나 롱랑와 송래 되네 대인도 대양 고직 롱 베나 브리팅도 이미나양 고 고랑와 마토 텔리양 믹스에 기지 갈세고래 롱 티니치 고래 세 롱스미야로 티니 요 말이 시니가라
And so mainly, and then as far as what should your breath be like, it really should just be natural. So we often talk about, when meditating, you allow the body to naturally settle, you allow the mind to naturally settle. And so there's really no kind of concerted effort to make the body any particular way, to make the mind any particular way. You're just dropping into a natural abiding. And so that is how it is with the breath. We just allow the breath to naturally settle, we're just breathing as we naturally do without manipulating the breath in any way.
Okay, so we had your dedication.
Okay, so we'll do the dedication on page 24 of the prayer book. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings and samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Hey, thank you. See you 2:00. You have some announcement?
No, I was just going to say thank you, everybody. We'll see
Very
you at
nice,
2
Eric.
o'clock. If you haven't registered, please see Melanie. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.